Hey, folks, this is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast for the 4th of September 2014. So many things are going on. The news is reporting that ISIS is already in the United States. There are pictures pertaining to that. There are certain reports that are pertaining to that as well. All I can say is, you better get up off your ass and go do something to protect yourself and your family now. You have to defend yourself not only from these criminals, these barbaric pieces of trash that are in our country right now, regardless of whether or not they're ISIS or drug cartels or Zetas or Sinaloa drug cartels or MS-13 or whatever. We have to protect this country, period, end of sentence. And you have to protect yourself and your family by any means necessary. And it's time that we start defending our rights and our freedoms and our liberties and secure ourselves in our homes and our papers in this country. And if you cannot do that and would prefer the socialist, communist, fascist, Marxist philosophies that are coming out of Washington, D.C. right now, then I only suggest one thing. Pack your damn bags and get to China or Russia where you belong. You have no reason to be in the United States because the United States is people. The United States is a spirit of freedom and liberty built upon the backs of people who fought and died for this country until it was bought back by the Rothschilds and the British Empire in 1871. So either you consider your future by remembering the past, or you're not going to have much of a present to remember. Everything that you do is a result of the environment you grew up in. Everything that you know, every piece of knowledge that you have is what you've learned from your environment. If your mind is set on one thing, that's all you're going to know. If you've learned only one thing, that's all you're going to know. If your environment has only has created a bubble for you to live in, that's all you're going to know. But there's other things outside of those boundaries that others have placed around you. That is what I'm saying. Take a look at everything that is out there. Examine every piece of information that you come across. I don't care if you agree or disagree with the person saying it. You must look at everything. And if you can't do that, then you're truly blind. And your environment has created you to be the robot, to be the sheeple, to be the parrot of everyone else. I've seen things and posts today, this morning, criticizing people that are in the alternative and independent media and railing and bashing against people who once were part of the truth movement. I don't want to call it the freedom movement or the independent movement or whatever. No, the truth. We're all looking for that. And don't give me this crap that, oh, you have truth, you have facts, blah, blah, blah. No, truth, in essence, is absolute. It is not relative to your own little made-up delusional world. It is breaking free of those boundaries that others put around you and realizing that what you were taught is a complete and utter lie. I'll be back right after this.
Tired of all the music shows on Spreaker? Too many sports shows? How about a show that matters? I recommend The Views Expressed Live. Reverend Wayne S. Pierce tells you what is really happening in the world. Well, stop listening to this and go listen to the show. The Views Expressed live, 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific, on Spreaker.com.
There's only one man that has accomplished everything that he has set out to do. That man is Chris Top. The Chris Top Program on Spreaker.com. America Matters. Enthusiastically entertaining, educating, enlightening everyone everywhere, while including a unique mix of all forms of media, including the internet, with continual live streaming available for all their shows. Their website is www.americamatters.us. Listen to America Matters on 101.3 Renegade Radio, krng.streamon.fm, or 99.1 FM Talk Radio, weekends at 99.1fmtalk.com, or 12:30 a.m. at 1230kjfk.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I am wondering, why are you here? Do or do not. There is no try. Do, there is no try. Do or do not. There is no try. I am wondering, why are you here?
Hey, folks, welcome back. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast for the 4th of September, 2014. Lots of things going on. Lots of things are happening today. Just want to give you a little program note. The views expressed live today will be live. Yes, live. It will be on today. So, lots of things are happening, and obviously a lot of people are not paying attention. Okay? A lot of people are not paying attention. Now, as you know, as you have heard, and now Yahoo has talked about this as well, or some of the news programs, as you know, your cell phones are being tracked and hacked and everything else. Why? Don't know. I don't know what the motivation is behind that. But I do know that we are being surveilled. And a company found out through their secured phones. You have to have one. Another person has to have one that's direct to you. They're Android operated. They found out through those phones that there are fake cell phone towers, and they're towers. They're just fake, but all it is like somebody sitting next to the tower or within at least a mile to 2 mile range on a laptop tracking you. They found this out on their secure phones. And this is a company in Las Vegas that found this out. So you're being tracked, folks, period. End of sentence, done. You are being tracked. I wanted to make that emphasis. Why? Who knows? Foreign governments, our own government wants to know where you're at, what you're doing, who you're talking to, what your plans are, when you pick your kids up at school, blah, blah, blah. They want to know that. Why? Because they want complete and total control over you, period. Okay? From AboveTopSecret.com, dozens of fake cell phone towers discovered eavesdropping on Android devices. All along the landscape of our nation, you can be sure that every means of devious, underhanded, and sinister organizations are using technology to eliminate your privacy and, yes, your freedom. Hyperbole? I think not. A relatively small company, the developers of the Cryptophone 500, took it on a test run up the eastern seaboard of the United States, testing the hardness, that's in quotes, of their device in the real world. But what did they discover? According to Goldsmith, the owner of the company, his team, using the custom-developed Cryptophone, which provides a hardened version of Android with a wealth of unique security features and patches a number of flaws present in the stock Android OS, discovered dozens of fake cell phone towers not belonging to any carriers, which intercepted the device's signal, allowing the tower's owner to intercept any calls or communications and even, quote, remotely push spyware to the device, unquote. Source is neowin.net. I will put this on the neowin.net link on in the comment section of the article I have up on Free America Radio. Okay. It goes on to say, now I know, the author of this article here says, now I know that many of us don't believe that privacy is a right, or that freedom has nothing to do with being able to live without the scrutiny of any unknown agency, but frankly, this is just one more example of the way our government cowers in fear behind secret projects and policies, while they extract anything, as well as everything, they can about who you are, who you speak to, where you go, and what you do. In another little note down here, it says, this may not be shocking, except for the fact that baseband interceptors are very costly to produce and difficult to create, meaning that only the truly committed and those with many resources have the ability to make them. The team discovered one such interceptor at a casino in Las Vegas, but many were found on top of military bases and government facilities. The author, and that's from another, I believe, neowin.com, or excuse me, neowin.net was an excerpt that I just read. The article continues, thus, kind of chaffs me, the author of the article says, there's no excuse for it that makes any sense to someone who isn't living in a dream world of made-up threats and make-believe enemies. It's time to reintroduce the restriction of domestic surveillance. Someone else here said, one of the commenters on this article said, of the AboveTopSecret.com says, wow, so this is the level they are playing. Technology can be used for greatness or for evil. Given humanity's track record, I'd rather be living without any technology. Spare me the, quote, you're using internet, so you're a hypocrite, BS, unquote, because the risk of abuse is just too great, as seen in the OP, and many, many more examples can be given. The more time moves forward, the more we become dependent on technology, the more they can control us. Being dependent is okay. It depends on what and who. There's other information that I'm going to share with you as well on Free America Radio on Facebook from Wired.com as well. Hacker spoofs cell phone tower to intercept calls. Okay, so I'm going to put that in the comment section of the article on Free America Radio on Facebook. And if this page will come up, it's a secure page. Android IMSI catcher detector. I'm going to put that up too. I'm giving you all of this information, people. And if you want to tell me I'm full of crap, then Just take a look at the information I provide on Free America Radio on Facebook. I don't know why people will continually discount, disregard, or absolutely completely ignore the reality of what's going on around them. I really don't know. Somebody want to share with me why people do this? You just want to share with me why people do this? Because I really, really want to know. Free America Radio at USA.com. Free America Radio at USA.com. Please email me. Put in the subject line radio so I know that you heard this show. I'm at the point now where I'm right now, as I record this podcast, looking at my cell phone. I go down to system settings, and I'm looking at this. Data usage. Okay? Data usage. Measured by your phone, your carrier's data usage accounting may differ. So, are they, my carrier, sending me the correct information? Probably not. Okay? I scroll on down here to location services. And what do I see? It says location services. Lets apps use data from sources such as Wi-Fi and mobile networks to determine your approximate location. That's the first thing on the list, folks. GPS satellites. Lets apps use GPS to pinpoint your location. Location and Google search. Let Google use your location to improve search results and other services such as advertising. Okay, folks, so let me go here and go into one of the places that I hardly ever go to. Well, it says, let me go into accessibility. It says large text, power button in calls, rotate screen, auto-rotate screen, touch and hold delay, install web scripts, not allowed. You have so much on your phone that tracks everything you do. You're being tracked, folks. That's just the way it is. You're being tracked. You can walk around downtown in your city, and you can see the cameras on the buildings. You can see the cameras everywhere. You can walk into the businesses and see cameras. You can. I can almost say with certainty that if you're standing out, if you have an iPad or an iPhone or whatever, you can possibly search for the webcams in your city while you're standing on the street. Look at the webcams in your city and find yourself on that webcam. I'm pretty sure you can do that. Now, if at some point we get really, really pissed off enough and we start, protesting all of this, is it going to make any difference? I would say yes, in the long run. Immediately, probably not, because the city would shut down protesting, because that's what they do. Because that's what the Army manual that was recently leaked out to the general public has said. Okay? 3-39.33. Go look that up. The military now has the right, now has the power and authority to come into a city where there's protests, political dissent and protesting, and use lethal force against you. And how are they going to know where you're at downtown? They're going to use the webcams. They're going to use your phone. They're going to track you. They're going to Might take them 5-10 minutes to track your specific number, but they're going to get you. So what does that mean for the future of humanity and the future of freedom in the United States of America? Well, we have hope. We have hope. When you have hope, you have a future. When you have hope and faith, you have determination to make that future happen. That's something that is very, very powerful to remember. What have we got today that will secure our presence in the future and the future of the United States of America being a free and sovereign nation? Hope and faith. That's what we have. I don't want to get all preachy on you, but remember, faith without works is dead. But faith without hope doesn't give you the presence of mind to be active. Faith without hope results in the actions that you need to do the works you need to do to secure your not only present situation, but for the future of your family and your country. So that is something to remember. I'm going to go to break here and take a little moment to step away. Yes, I will be back in a few minutes. Don't go away. Come back. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. And I will be live on the Views Express live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can catch the show on freeamericaradio.us. The BK Factor with your host Brian Keller on the Shake and Wake Radio Network, shakeandwakeradio.com.
And will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Ah, damn politicians. My mother always told me this country would be screwed if the liberals had their way. The only sanity I get is when I listen to Jeff Wagner on the Conservative Voice, only on the Conservative Radio Network.
This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, and I want to tell you of a DVD that I have watched. It's a very interesting one. It's a film by Alex Jones. It's called Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. For the New World Order, a world government is just a beginning. Once in place, they can engage their plan to exterminate 80% of the world's population while enabling the quote-unquote elites to live forever with the aid of advanced technology. For the first time, crusading filmmaker Alex Jones reveals their secret plan for humanity's extermination. Operation Endgame. That's Endgame by Alex Jones. Get it at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com.
This is the Free America Radio Network. For more information, go to freeamericaradio.us.
Welcome back. We have a lot going on in this world today. We have a lot that we spend our money on. We have a lot of things that we look at and hope that someday we can have. But, folks, I want to tell you this much right now. Materialism is, it's archaic. How much stuff can you have? How much stuff do you want? How many trips can you take? What about your family? I mean, yeah, okay. Let me step back just a minute and say this: that yes, taking time off helps regroup, and you get a little, get the stress out of your life. You take a vacation, you enjoy, you go and spend some time alone with your family or time alone with yourself. And yes, it does help. I've done that many, many times. But my point is, how much stuff can you have? How much stuff do you want? I mean, seriously, if there is something in this whole world that you would ever want, would it be enough? Now, when we look around at what's going on around us right now, and we examine the things that are happening, there's people out there that want to kill us. And it's not enough for them, okay? It's not enough. What happens with a group of people who start, I'm going to say this and use this, and I don't mean to be gross or anything, but when you have a group of people that begin to cannibalize themselves and rid their area of the bad people that they think are bad, you're going to have a certain percentage of those people being, the dominant force in that area. And after a while, they're going to start cannibalizing themselves again. And it's a cycle. And pretty soon, before you know it, you're only going to have very few of those people left, and a massive amount of other people that are going to be in that area looking at that little small portion of people saying, my God, they almost killed themselves off. Why would they want to do that? Look at the opposite, folks. You've got a Mossad-trained, Saudi-funded group called ISIS or IS or whatever, abbreviated name they want to give themselves, that was put together and created to annihilate most liberty-loving industrial nations that have freedom and liberty, or have a form of freedom and liberty. That's what they want to do. And guess what? Our military-industrial complex understands this. They're being used, and now, because mostly 80% or more of the military and the law enforcement of this country understands that our government is totally corrupt, they're now siding with the citizens of the United States of America. So what happens? The military-industrial complex goes to the UN through the Security Council, which Obama was head of for a month in 2009, and he's going back again to do some work. And they're now bringing NATO forces in, United Nations forces into the U.S. to militarize the law enforcement, to infiltrate those areas. And they're going to come against the people who are patriots, who are freedom lovers, who are liberty lovers. They are going against people who are politically who are political dissonance. There we go. They're looking at people who are Ron Paul supporters, freedom supporters, ending the Fed, ending the IRS. They're looking at people like that and saying, those people have got to go. By the way, folks, the military-industrial complex understands this, so they're making behind-the-scenes choices to side with the citizens of the United States. Why do you think Obama fired over 15 top generals in his administration? Because they went, we're not taking the guns away from the American people. And Obama went, yeah, you are. And the generals are going, no, we're not. And Obama said, you're fired. And let him go. Bottom of the hour, folks. So much going on. And I shall return right after this.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order. because the global order is changing again. And the institutions and the rules that worked so well in the post-World War II era for decades, they need to be strengthened, and some have to be changed. So we have to do what we do best. We have to lead. We have to lead. We have to update the global rules of the road. We have to do it in a way that maximizes benefits for everyone, because obviously it's overwhelmingly in our interest. This is not a zero-sum game. It's overwhelmingly in our interest that China prosper, that Mongolia prosper, that nations big and large, east and west. We have to level the playing field so that American companies and workers can compete in the world, that the competition is fair and it's healthy.
We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well funded.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Hey, you folks, welcome back to the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast for the 4th of September 2014. How you doing today? I always ask how you doing because, hey, you never know. I never know. I'd like to know. You can email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Put in the subject line radio so I know you heard this. That would be awesome. And pass this show on to other people as well. That really helps. Thank you. Appreciate that. Go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com site. If you want to sponsor the show, you can. Just ask. All you have to do is just ask me. Sponsor page right there. Check it out. Got any questions? Just ask. If you don't want to sponsor the show, you can donate. That's always good. Yeah. So there's a way to do that as well. And also... anything that you want to know, okay, anything that you want to know is right there, right? And if you want to donate to the show, you can, as I said before. I do accept Bitcoin, by the way. Also on the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com site, there's emergency food supply. So please prepare yourself. Go there, buy as much as you want. Not only will it help your family out, it'll help Free America Radio Network get to the next level. So thank you very much for your support. Appreciate that a lot. So, a little preview of what's coming up on the Views Express today. I already told you about the fake cell phone towers. But how about this? From Mike Casper on Facebook. You don't believe they're here? Look who I just found at Jason's Deli at West 34th and 290 in Houston. That's the black standard ISIS emblem on his shoulder. Share the hell out of this. Okay? Also from thetruthaboutguns.com, quote of the day, the Daily Cost Thinks You're Stupid edition, truthaboutguns.com, thetruthaboutguns.com. Also, do you think the founders intended for civilians to own military-style firearms when they wrote the Second Amendment? In 1791, when the Second Amendment was written and ratified December 15th, every gun was, quote-unquote, military style. Also from redicecreations.com, NWO enforcer, NATO threatens World War III. Also from theblaze.com, there's a video there, The Dangers of Radical Islam Grow, Glenn Beck program. Also from PrepperChimp.com, beware of the UN takeover of American water supplies. Hey, I also want to promote this guy, Ernest Lee. They call him the General. You can go to Free America Radio on Facebook, see a video that he did. Please share. This is also from the Mission Patriot Freedom USA. See, and the General, he calls himself General Lee. I guess Pete Santilli put that name on him because of, the last name and play on words about Dukes of Hazzard and stuff like that. So, but Ernest Lee says, seems my last video hit a nerve because it exposed you to the truth. More truth is contained in this video. Can you handle more? Something to think about, so there's a video there for you. TheNewAmerican.com, NATO exercise in Ukraine will place U.S. closer to conflict. They want to bring the U.S. into war into this because they want to collapse the United States of America into itself. They know that we cannot handle or sustain another war because it's going to tear us apart. We know this. They know this. Ukraine rebels say they are poised to recapture Donetsk airport. Reuters.com talks about that. Also Infowars.com. Border agent retaliated against for speaking to the media. Also from Shanda Corey Cleveland on Facebook. She put up a video from whatreallyhappened.com. Fake Al-Qaeda actors exposed, Adam Gadon and Yosef Al-Khattab. From Kane TV, Herman Cain, former presidential candidate. KaneTV.com, DHS loses track of 6,000 foreign nationals who overstayed student visas. Also from AboveTopSecret.com, Philadelphia police putting homeowners on the streets. Isn't that wonderful? There's a meme up there from Open Your Mind Bounds on Facebook, actually on Occupy San Francisco as well. The prison industry in the United States. Big business or new form of slavery? No other society in human history has imprisoned so many of its own citizens. WesternJournalism.com. What this former HHS official did will make even his supporters shake their head in disgust. Okay? This is all on Free America Radio on Facebook, by the way. Just scroll on down and you'll find them all. From the FreeThoughtProject.com. Police state America. 2 children charged with felonies for peeling bark from a tree. We've done that when we were younger, huh? The Minority Report blog.com. Freedom of speech criminalized. Teacher suspended. School lockdown for... let me look here. The crazies are definitely running the asylum at this school, and I'm afraid there are many more schools where that is the case. Let me click on this and read this to you with the time I have left. Okay? From the Minority Report blog.com, freedom of speech criminalized. Teacher suspended. School lockdown for fiction novel set in future. From Reason.com, quote, the Dorchester County, Maryland teacher was taken in for an, quote-unquote, emergency medical evaluation, suspended from his job and barred from setting foot on another public school. Authorities searched his school, Mace's Lane Middle School in Cambridge, for weapons. As classes resumed, parents worried that their children were in danger, so police decided to remain on the premises to watch over them. What happened? The teacher, Patrick McClaw, published a fiction novel under a pen name about a made-up school shooting set in the year 2902. If you're having trouble figuring out which part of that was criminal or negligent or even inappropriate, you're not alone. From WBOC. Early last week, the school board was alerted that one of its 8th grade language arts teacher at Mace's Lane Middle School had several aliases. Police said that under those names, he wrote 2 fictional books about the largest school shooting in the country's history set in the future. Now, Patrick McLaw is placed on leave. Dr. K.S. Voltaire is better known by some in Dorchester County as Patrick McLaw or Patrick Beale. Not only was he a teacher at Maces Lane Middle School in Cambridge, but according to Dorchester Sheriff James Phillips, McLaw is also the author of 2 books, quote, The Insurrectionist, unquote, and its sequel, quote, Lilith's, if I can say the word, Lilith's Heir, unquote. Those books are what caught the attention of police and school board officials in Dorchester County. Quote, The Insurrectionist, unquote, is about 2 school shootings set in the future, the largest in the country's history. Phillips said McLaw was taken in for an emergency medical evaluation, psych eval, folks, if you want to know what that is. The sheriff would not disclose where McLaw is now, but he did say that he is not on the Eastern Shore. Yeah. He's in Langley, folks. The same day that McLaw was taken in for evaluation, police swept McLean's middle school for bombs and guns coming up empty. But coming up empty did not stop the authorities from punishing McLaw. Dorchester County Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Henry Wagner, said the Dorchester Board of Education has taken its own action. Quote, We have advised our community that the gentleman has been placed on administrative leave and has been prohibited from entering any Dorchester public school property, unquote, Wagner said. Since using a pen name and publishing a novel are now even remotely sinister actions, it seems the trouble must center around his deception of a school shooting 900 years from now. But that's not really grounds for dismissal or a police investigation either. Plenty of writers use what they know as a jumping-off point, and McLaw landed very far from anything resembling a real-life intention. Authorities also searched his home and found nothing. They haven't charged him or booked him. For now, they won't even divulge his current location. I say, folks, he's in Langley, West Virginia, but I don't know. Just to let you know, I don't know. Now, freedom of speech is now criminalized. Freedom of speech is now criminal. But here's the thing. Let's go back in history. 1776. Okay. 1776 was a very crucial point in this country's history in terms of its formation and foundational principles, period. I don't want to hear anybody else tell me it wasn't, because it was. Okay? At least from my perspective. Now, we fought, we won our independence from British Crown, and in 1791, December 15th, ratified by the current Congress of that time, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights was set in place. Period. Okay? Period. All right? It is the rule of law over everything. It is the rule of law over every state. It is the rule of law that is designed and really cloned by every state, because every state has its own way of governing. Every state has 3 branches of government: the legislative, judicial, and executive. They all have that. We are separate countries in this continent we call North America. Okay? So, freedom of speech is the key, is just one of the keys that we have that allow us to be the country that we were. And now it is against the law to say anything against anybody for any reason whatsoever. And we must be all the clones and assimilate to the programming of the current regime. We must believe everything that's in the state-run media. We must believe everything coming out of the federal government, because they know best and they know what our lives should be like. No, folks. No. Absolutely, positively, utterly, 100% no. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom to petition our government for a redress of grievances. That is what protesting is all about. That is what getting out into your cities is all about, so that our politicians, I shouldn't even say our politicians, so that the people that are supposedly leading the cities, counties, and states can look and say, what are they yelling about? What are they protesting about? Let's take a look at that. That is our freedom of assembly. That is our freedom of speech. That is who we are as American citizens. But there are some wimpy-ass mofos out there that have absolutely no balls whatsoever to stand up to anybody, who is now telling you that you have no freedom of speech, that you have no right to say what you want. I'm sorry, I didn't grow up in a fascist country. Oh, wait, maybe I did. We just had a semblance of freedom. Maybe they allowed it. Maybe they had their reasoning to hide all of this information from us. You can go in many, many different directions, folks, and I guarantee you, you're going to wind up in the same place in the end, and that is the government of, I was going to say this, but I'll put it to you this way. The government of, by, and for the people have been shattered. Has been shattered. 1791, when the Rothschilds and other industrialists of that time bought the United States of America. Yes, bought. Go look at the Act of 1871. That formed Washington, D.C., in that little 10 square mile area. That formed it. You can go look at the incorporation of. It is not about the rest of the United States. It is about a business. The financial end of that business is in the city of London, over in London. Yes, it's a city separate from the capital. You can go to the Vatican and look at the spiritual end of that as well. Vatican City. You can look at the military-industrial complex and all of that, and all of everything that is happening in the United States of America by examining the 10 square mile piece of land we call Washington, D.C. And the rest of the United States is just going right along with what Washington says. Oh, everything's going to be fine. The president knows what he's doing. All of that. No, he doesn't. We the people know what we want. We the people will get what we want. We the people will stand up for what we want. And if it means standing up against the very leaders that we voted into office to help secure the freedoms and peace and liberty of this country, we'll do that. And if that means standing up to terrorists at our southern and northern borders and on each side of this continent on the shores, we will do that. If it means that we have to stand up with our own neighbors and our own family and our own county and our own states who want to side with the fascism, the Marxism, the communism, and the socialism of Washington, D.C., then we will do that. It is now time to do what we must do and do it by any means necessary. And I don't really condone violence. Unless violence is perpetrated upon me, then it is my God-given right to defend myself. Period. Don't like it? Leave the damn country. Don't like freedom and liberty? Pack it up and go away. Whose side are you on anyway? It's a good question, isn't it? Something to think about. Something to put your focus on. Whose side are you on? Freedom of speech criminalized. You can go to minoritreport.com for that one. General McInerney, I guess that's, I don't know, McInerney. He says, and I quote, "We helped build ISIS." That's what he said. General Thomas McInerney acknowledged that the United States, quote, helped build ISIS. As a result of the group obtaining weapons from the Benghazi consulate in Libya, which was attacked by jihadists in September of 2012. Asked what he thought of the idea of arming so-called, quote-unquote, moderate Syrian rebels after FSA militants kidnapped UN peacekeepers in the Golan Heights, McInerney said the policy had been a failure. Quote, "We backed, I believe, in some cases, some of the wrong people and not in the right part of the Free Syrian Army, and that's a little confusing to people. So I've always maintained that we were backing the wrong types," unquote. McInerney then made a reference to a Brett Baer Fox News special set to air on Friday, which will, quote, show some of those weapons from Benghazi ended up in the hands of ISIS, so we helped build ISIS, unquote. He said. In May of last year, Senator Rand Paul was one of the first to speculate that the truth behind Benghazi was linked to an illicit arms smuggling program that saw weapons being trafficked to terrorists in Syria as part of the United States proxy war against the Assad regime. Quote, "I've actually always suspected that, although I have no evidence that maybe we were facilitating arms leaving Libya going through Turkey into Syria," unquote, Paul told CNN, adding that he, quote, "never quite understood the cover-up, if it was intentional or incompetence," unquote. At the same time, it emerged that the U.S. State Department had hired an al-Qaeda offshoot organization in February 17th, Martyrs Brigade, to defend, that's in quotes, the Benghazi mission months before the attack. Let me read that again, folks. This is very, very crucial to take a look at. At the same time, it emerged that the U.S. State Department had hired an al-Qaeda offshoot organization, the February 17th Martyrs Brigade, to quote-unquote defend the Benghazi mission months before the attack. Senator Paul was vindicated less than 3 months later when it emerged that the CIA had been subjecting its operatives to monthly polygraph tests in an effort to keep a lid on the details of the arms smuggling operation being leaked. CNN subsequently reported that dozens of CIA agents were on the ground in Benghazi during the attack and that the polygraph tests were mandated in order to prevent operatives from talking to Congress and the media about a program that revolved around, quote, secretly helping to move surface-to-air missiles out of Libya through Turkey and into the hands of Syrian rebels, unquote. Key Syrian rebel leaders later defected to join ISIS. Why did they use a lie detector, folks? That's because they know it's mind control, folks. It is mind control. Go look up targeted individuals, mind control, targeted individuals. Go look it up. It's mind control, folks. They're using the lie detector to make sure that the person can hide the lies, can cover it up, can do whatever. That's what they do, folks. Okay? In addition to ISIS obtaining weapons from Benghazi, many members of the group are also trained by the United States at a secret base in Jordan in 2012. See, we built them. We trained them. Aaron Klein was told by Jordanian officials that, quote, dozens of future ISIS members were trained at the time as part of a covert aid to the insurgents targeting the regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in Syria, unquote. And Infowars.com says, as we have previously documented, many of the United States' biggest allies in the region, including Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Turkey, and Qatar, have all bankrolled and armed ISIS militants. Okay? Are you with me, folks? Are we on the same page? It is incredibly odd to me that when it comes to the knowledge that people have of what is going on in our world today and in our country, chances are 80% of those people, let me be more conservative, more like 60% of those people get their quote-unquote factual news from the state-run media. Well, if it wasn't on the TV and if it wasn't on CNN, then I'm not going to believe it. Well, it wasn't on Fox, I'm not going to believe it. When you grow up in an environment that suppresses your ability to break free of the boundaries that you are in to think for yourself and as a result learn what more is out there, you got a problem, folks. You got a huge, massive problem. I don't know what else to tell you. The views expressed live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Free America Radio Network. Go to freeamericaradio.us for more information. Lots of things I'm going to talk about today. And I got to tell you, man, I don't know what else I can tell you. I'll find more information. You can go to Free America Radio on Facebook to check out more information I'm going to put up before the show today. You can also go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. I don't have much on there. I got a lot in the past. I haven't put anything new up there, but you can go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com site and check that out as well. If you want to sponsor the show, you can do that. I would appreciate that very much, and that will help me get Free America Radio Network to the next level. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine too. I also take donations. I take Bitcoin and things like that. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But if you want emergency food supply, go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com site. At the top of the page, you'll see emergency food supply. Click on that and get as much as you want, because you'll be helping out your family as well as Free America Radio Network and this media operation that I've started. So, come join me today on the Views Express Live, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Free America Radio Network. You can also listen to me on Spreaker.com. There's RSS feeds that you can use as well. If you want me to be on your network, please ask. That's all you got to do. Just ask. That's it. Email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. Hey, no question is off limits. Ask me anything you like. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. If I can direct you to the right information, I will, or in the right direction for the information, I will. So again, that's freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. Hey, remember, the Views Express Live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Free America Radio Network on freeamericaradio.us. Talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend.